Okay, a good Tavach, a freilich Tavach. Baruch Hashem, this Shabbos was Parshas Vayishlach, and we're heading now to Parshas Vayeshev. We're heading to the Yontif, Rosh Hashanah for Chassidus, Yutes Kislev. So I wanted to share with you a few stories about the Yontif Yutes Kislev and how it relates to us. The Baal Shem Tov was told by Mashiach that when your well springs will be spread to the outside, that's when Mashiach will come. The well springs of Chassidus are directly related to the coming of Mashiach. As we were learning last week, that the Alter Rebbe spoke about how Baal Shem Tov passed away on a Wednesday, and his redemption also happened on a Wednesday. That means that just like it says in the Torah about the luminaries, the sun and the moon were hung in the sky on a Wednesday. It also says, Natlu Hama'iris, luminaries were taken away on a Wednesday. So in a similar way, the Baal Shem Tov passed away on a Wednesday, but the Alter Rebbe, he was released on Yutes Kislev on a Tuesday, but the full redemption wasn't until Tuesday night, which was Wednesday. And so that sort of rectified the passing of the Baal Shem Tov. The full glory of the light of the Baal Shem Tov was realized through the Alter Rebbe, through the teachings of Chassidus Chabad. So I wanted to share a little bit about the link between the Baal Shem Tov and the Alter Rebbe and how this relates to the coming of Mashiach. Coming of Mashiach is, as Rebbe said many times, it's not that Mashiach will be transported to some other world, to some utopian world, but we'll see the godliness and the goodness and everything in this world. So the teachings of Chassidus, which prepare for the coming of Mashiach, there's a message in all of Chassidus. All of Chassidus gives us an insight in how there's nothing besides Hashem. That's the message Chassidus has. So I guess I'm giving this message a little bit right now as we're talking, because I'm not giving this class from the usual spot. I'm giving in the middle of LAX. But nothing besides Hashem, wherever you are, right? Okay, so I wanted to first of all share stories about the Mezritcher Maggid. Not as highlighted as much on the 19th of Kislev because of the great celebration of the Alter Rebbe's redemption, but Yutes Kislev is also the day of the passing of the Mezritcher Maggid, the teacher of the Alter Rebbe, the successor of the Baal Shem Tov. Mezritcher Maggid passed away also on the 19th of Kislev. The Mezritcher Maggid had a unique connection with the Alter Rebbe among all of the students. As the B'lei Yitzchak Berditchev said, all of us ate from the same plate, but the Litvak, the Alter Rebbe, who came from Lithuania, was affectionately called the Litvak among all the members of the Holy Brotherhood, the students of the Mezritcher Maggid. The Alter Rebbe was called the Litvak, and he said that the B'lei Yitzchak Berditchev said that the Alter Rebbe got the smetana. He got the best portion of the teachings of the Maggid. The Mezritcher Maggid also, you could see that he uniquely was connected to the Alter Rebbe by a few things. I'll share some of them. The Mezritcher Maggid appointed the Alter Rebbe to write a Shulchan Aruch, to write a code of Jewish law. Unlike the code of Jewish law that was written by Maimonides, the code of Jewish law that was written by Rabbi Yosef Kairoi, the Alter Rebbe wrote a Shulchan Aruch as instructed by his teacher, Mezritcher Maggid, that was going to include not only the laws of the Torah, but also the reasoning for the laws. And the Alter Rebbe was concerned that the unique attention that the Maggid gave him was going to perhaps cause an ayin hara, perhaps draw the envy of his colleagues. So he came to his Rebbe, the Mezritcher Maggid, and told him that he's concerned about ayin hara, is concerned that maybe there'll be some evil eye, there'll be some jealousy because of all the attention. As we're going to read in this week's Torah portion, as we read today at Mincha, how the brothers of Joseph were jealous of Joseph. And it also says about the Alter Rebbe that the other colleagues of the Maggid did in fact have some envy of the Alter Rebbe, and there was some friction over the years, the various things. not in the way that, God forbid, friction like in the regular sense of rivalry, but there was definitely disagreements and friction. So it says about Yosef and his brothers that that although Yosef's dreams pointed to Yosef being the greatest of his brothers, and his brothers were jealous, and his father rebuked him, but nevertheless his father saw in him something unique. His father saw that Yosef indeed was going to be someone special among all of his brothers. His father guarded this message that Yosef got in the dream, knowing that there's something unique about his son Yosef among all the brothers. In a similar way, it says that the Maggid, knowing that Alter Rebbe is going to have to contend not only with his fellow colleagues, but also with his antagonists, the Misnagdim, those who were openly opposed to the ways of Chassidus in general, the musician Maggid knew that this was a unique mission of the Alter Rebbe, and that he uniquely blessed him for it. So when the Alter Rebbe asked the Maggid, "What should I do? I'm afraid of possible ayin hara," the Maggid stood up. He put his hands over the head of the Alter Rebbe, and he blessed him with birchas koinim. He blessed him with a blessing. The koinim bless. May Hashem bless you and protect you. May Hashem shine His countenance upon you, and be kind to you. May Hashem give you peace. The priestly blessing. And the Alter Rebbe said that once the Maggid gave him this blessing, you no longer felt any kind of discord between him and other students of the Maggid. He was from the younger students of the Maggid, but although he's from the younger students, there was a unique relationship that he had with the Maggid. The Maggid, in the summer before he passed away, he sent a message to the Alter Rebbe through Reb Zusha Anipoli, and he told Reb Zusha, write a letter to Reb Zalman the Goin, to Reb Zalman the great genius, and tell him that he should come here. The Maggid was then in the city of Rodnia, and asked Alter Rebbe to come for a meeting. Write to him, should come for a meeting. As soon as the Alter Rebbe got the message from the Maggid, two things happened. First of all, the other students of the Maggid, hearing that the musician Maggid is calling him the Goin, called the Goin, Reb Zalman, from then on, the students of the Maggid called the Alter Rebbe the Rav. The Rav is a name of one of the sages in the Talmud. The Talmud says about the sage that the law of the Torah follows Rav. Hilchos HaKarav, the law follows Rav. So when the Maggid was told by his son, Abavram, who was called Abavram the angel, because he was such an angelic holy person, when the Maggid was told that the other students of the Maggid described the Alter Rebbe as the Rav, the Maggid said, Shema Milsehi, a name that is given is significant, and indeed the Alter Rebbe has the same appellation that was given to Rav, that Rav was considered to be the final halachic authority. So to the Alter Rebbe, his Shulchan Aruch, his code of Jewish law, will be spread through all the Jewish people. Actually, the Maggid gave the Alter Rebbe that blessing when he put his hands on his head and he blessed him with the blessing of Kohanim. That's when he blessed him as well. That the code of Jewish law that Alter Rebbe writes will be spread among all the Jewish people. Everyone will study, as you see today, that all the Jewish people study the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, his code of Jewish law. That's the first thing that happened. What happened to Alter Rebbe when he got that letter from the Maggid was he became very ill. He became so ill he was bedridden. And the other students of the Maggid didn't know what to do. Should they tell the musician Maggid that the Alter Rebbe got so sick, which would certainly cause him pain, or should they not share this? So there was different opinions. Reb Mendel Haradoker said we should take care of this ourselves. We should pray for ourselves for the Alter Rebbe. We don't want to cause pain to our teacher. But Reb Levi Yitzchak Berditchev, he weighed in and he said we have to tell our teacher. And so it was decided they're going to inform the Maggid of the Alter Rebbe's illness. So three of the tzaddikim came to the Maggid, Reb Zusha Anipoli, Reb Mendel Haradoker, and Reb Levi Yitzchak Berditchev, and they went to ask for a blessing for the Alter Rebbe. When they came to the Maggid remarked, Hashem hid this from me. And he feels, said the Maggid, he feels like a child by a father. I feel, said the Maggid, like a child of the Baal Shem Tov, and he feels like a child to me. That's what the musician Maggid remarked. And these tzaddikim had no idea what the Maggid was talking about. What was he referring to? Hashem hid something from him. The Alter Rebbe was like a child. What is he talking about? Only later on, a few days before his passing, when the students of the Mezritcher Maggid realized that their Rebbe was going to pass away, the Maggid remarked to them, and he said to them that what you feel now, Zalman, you, the Alter Rebbe, felt last summer. They felt the Maggid was going to pass away, but the Alter Rebbe already sensed this the summer before. The Alter Rebbe realized then, and that's what the Maggid meant when he said that Hashem hid this from me. That he didn't. The Alter Rebbe, when he got the letter from the Maggid saying, "Please call Zalman, the great Torah genius," he already knew that this was not just a summons to come to a meeting. This was a summons of a different nature. This was like you have a role to play here because your teacher, Mezritcher Maggid, is going to pass away. So therefore, you have to pay attention to your new role. That's why the Alter became so ill, because hearing that his teacher was going to pass away, and because he had a relationship with his teacher like a child to a father, that's why he was bedridden. That's why he was so ill, because he was hearing this ominous news. So the Maggid told the other students, "What you feel now, Zalman felt already last summer." The Mezritcher Maggid asked the Alter Rebbe to teach his son, Rabbi Avram. Rabbi Avram was called again the angel. And the Avram had a hard time being in this physical world. He was such a holy person, like an angel. He had a hard time eating and drinking because he wanted to stay focused on the spiritual. There's a story told about the Alter Rebbe who was once studying with his teacher, Rabbi Avram, the angel, the Maggid's son, and they made a circle. According to Kabbalah, there's this thing where you draw a circle and you try to attain the highest level of love for Hashem. They both were in the circle, and the Alter Rebbe said, "Chachmasi amdali, my wisdom stood for me, and I knew to go out of the circle. I knew that if I stayed in the circle, my soul would depart from my body." He walked out of the circle. Rav Avram walked out of the circle too, and when he walked out of the circle, the Alter Rebbe had a bagel and butter, and his colleague Rav Avram said, "We couldn't believe it. Why is he having a bagel and butter now? This is like they've just reached such a high level of love for Hashem. Why is he having bagel and butter now out of nowhere?" But the reason he had a bagel and butter was because he felt his soul would have left his body and not eaten at that moment, because he needed to bring something physical into himself to connect his soul to his body. So Avram and the Alter Rebbe would study together, and they studied for 3 hours the esoteric parts of the Torah. Rabbi Avram would teach the Alter Rebbe the inner dimension of the Torah, and the Alter Rebbe for 3 hours would teach Rabbi Avram the exoteric parts of the Torah, the revealed parts of the Torah. And they had a clock, and Hasidim say that the Alter Rebbe would change the hours in the clock because his colleague, he was too spiritual to notice, so he would move around the clock so he would have more hours to learn Hasidus. And they asked the Alter Rebbe, "How can you do this?" The Alter Rebbe said, "Mayim gnuvim yutakwa." It says in Proverbs, "Stolen waters are sweeter." That the best time to learn with his colleague was specifically the time he stole. And they say, I don't know if this is true, the Alter Rebbe said, "Eloi signav." When it says in the Torah, "Do not steal," the Alter Rebbe said that the cantillation, the tune of the words is "Eloi," stop, signav, stop. Sometimes you should steal. No, sometimes you do need to steal. Anyway, so the Alter Rebbe was studying with Rav Avram the Malach, and not only they studied together, but sometimes the Maggid would teach them both. And the Alter Rebbe was able at that time to learn all of the wisdom of the Mezritcher Maggid when he was studying with the Rabbi Avram, and they were both together studying from their teacher, from their Avram's father, Mezritcher Maggid. At one point, the Mezritcher Maggid told the Alter Rebbe a teaching on the verse, "A fire should be constantly lit on the altar; it should never be put out." And the Mezritcher Maggid told the Alter Rebbe, when it says "don't put out the fire," it also means put out the knot, put out the negativity. The Mezritcher Maggid said, "You are going to have to extinguish a very big knot, a very big negative of your detractors." And he's told him this teaching 10 times to engrave this in the 10 parts of the soul. that the Alter Rebbe would be empowered for the incredible challenges that he would have at the hands of his detractors. So, as it says in this week's Torah portion of Shamar Sadavar, the Mezritcher Maggid saw the future. He saw the success of the Alter Rebbe, and before he passed away, Reb Motel Chernobyl, Reb Nachum Chernobyl, said that the Mezritcher Maggid held on to the Alter Rebbe's hand, and he said to him, the 19th of Kislev is our Hilula. Hilula means a day of celebration. The day of the passing of a tzaddik is called a day Hilula, but also a wedding is called a Hilula, a day of celebration is called a Hilula. So the Maggid told the Alter Rebbe, this is our day of celebration, meaning that this is a day of celebration because it's the day of the anniversary of the passing of the Maggid, but it's also a time of celebration for the Alter Rebbe, because 26 years later,
as a friendly reminder, doors closed at 15 minutes prior to scheduled departure time for all Delta flights. For this flight, this will be at 8:45 local. Once again, for Delta Airlines,
okay. So the Alter Rebbe.
Thank you for choosing Delta Airlines.
Okay, where was it? All right. So the Mezritcher Maggid held the Alter Rebbe's hand before he passed away, and he told him the 19th of Kislev is our day of celebration. It was the Maggid day of celebration because that's when he passed away. And as Alter Rebbe's day of celebration, because that's a day that 26 years later, he will be released from prison. The number 26 is significant. It's numerically equivalent to the name of Hashem, Yud Vavke. And one of the Chassidim of the Tzemach Tzedek, Shmuel Ber Borisever, he said that the Alter Rebbe uniquely revealed Yichudi Ilah. He revealed the higher level of understanding the oneness of Hashem. And that's why his celebration, his redemption from prison was 26 years after the Maggid's passing, because he uniquely had to do something more to reveal the Yud Kei Vav Kei, Yichudi Ilah, the higher level of Hashem's unity. But I want to bring this down to us, not at least just at the higher level. And I heard a story. I don't have permission to share the, let's see. Yeah, I don't have permission to share the name of this story, who this happened to, but I'll share the story. Share an amazing story on Friday, and the one this story happened to. The gentleman had a diamond business that he started with his wife. I heard this from this man's son. They started this diamond business by the instruction of the Rebbe, and the Rebbe told them that they should send to the Rebbe their records, their business records, and every month they would send the Rebbe the business records. They were in this business for 3 or 4 years with zero profit after 3 or 4 years. So after the years of this business and not seeing any success, they wanted to close their business. And they came to see the Rebbe, and they asked the Rebbe, should we close the business or not? And the Rebbe responded, the Rebbe closed his eyes, the Rebbe opened his drawer, the Rebbe picked up and held the sheets of the P&L, the profit and loss of this jewelry business, and the Rebbe said, when a couple makes a business, masoy matoy be'emunah, and they do this honestly, and they're acting according to the Torah and its commandments, they're doing making a business according to Torah, it's impossible that they should not be successful. That's what the Rebbe said. The gentleman told me that every single year since the Rebbe said this, their business has seen success, increasing success, more success than the year before. Every single year since then, this happened in 1954. Every single year since then, the business has grown. The profit has gotten greater, because it's impossible. I mean, we think all kinds of things have to go into business. All kinds of conditions have to make the business work. But the truth is, there's nothing besides Hashem, and there's nothing to do with the circumstances in the physical earth. It has to do with the bracha of Hashem. And that Rebbe said it's impossible. A couple makes a business together, and they're doing this honestly according to Torah. It's impossible they're not going to be successful. So that underscores this idea of nothing besides Hashem, that the physical reality, physical conditions don't really matter. So I want to share with you one more story. This story took place on the 12th of Kislev. The previous Rebbe was told the Rebbe that you should give mashka, you should put out some vodka, and you should give me a kiss. and you should learn Chassidus because of the dream that I just had. Because of the dream that I just had, you should kiss me, you should put out vodka, and you should learn Chassidus. What was the dream that he had? And he asked the Rebbe to kiss him. The Rebbe wanted to kiss his hand. The previous Rebbe said to kiss instead his forehead. And then the previous Rebbe kissed the Rebbe's cheek. And he told the Rebbe the following dream. He told the Rebbe that his father came to him in a dream, and he said to him, "Why are you so down when by you in your house it's luminous? Why are you so down when it's luminous in your house?" He didn't know what his father was referring to. He didn't know what his father was referring to, rather. And he saw the moon was shining. So he thought he was referring to the light of the moon. But then he thought that couldn't be it. And then he told the Rebbe, and then I came to the bookshelf, and I see you're studying Torah. I see you're studying, and I realized that's my father meant. My father meant your light. This is the light of the Baal Shem Tov, the light of the Alter Rebbe, the light that's going to shine till Mashiach will come. And so now this week, Hashem should bless us all. We should have the right preparation for 19th of Kislev, Rosh Hashanah for Chassidus, and we should prepare for not just redemption.